All right, time for me to be on. I just checking out some other RPG Maker streams out there. Not a big category to actually like. Was checking out. I'm just gonna like. I wanted to check out these other ones, but I also want to try to find a time partly party Sue. Like if they're still on later after 4 hours, I'll probably check them out. I was just listening to that one in 1063. Uh, they had something going on too, so I I saw I was like and I was curious and I wanted to click on like what was going on with RPG Maker and I saw these guys on. I was just like, okay, well, 14 viewers, 8K followers, and I was like, is this maybe I should hit the follow button. I don't know what's gonna do. I'm still actually just new to this platform, so the old Twitch or actually just doing the Twitch online kind of stuff. So I was like, let's just see what's going on here, and if I knew better, well, I know better. But if I had time, I probably would have just like, oh, try to give them some views and stuff like that. Got nothing to raid with. So there's nothing going out there, but check a few. Oh yeah, I do at the end. Okay, well that makes sense. So it's not a very diverse. It's not very diverse. No, not a lot of people are actually watching. It's interesting because I never actually looked to see what it looks like, and here it is. Here's me at the end. So even if I was, to go for a different game, I kind of work in more small, empty areas of. So I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'm gonna actually keep that window open for like later and anything that's gonna happen because yeah, okay, a lot of people are not gonna come, but at least something I enjoy nonetheless to do. Um, I could also it's OmanaC Mondays, so this is just going to be about me. If you're new to this channel, and if you're listening to ads on YouTube or anywhere else this is posted on amnio or anywhere like that, if you're listening to my sound voice, if you're possibly out there, we I don't know, but if you're out there, thank you for watching and thank you for attending this channel and seeing what this game is about and stuff like that. Um, just trying at different times to see what would go on. Like I didn't put in so much effort at the beginning, but at least put some effort at all. As you can see, my new setup is now be in the OmanaC zone. All that the card thing. I made an animation. All this stuff is going on in the background. The I animated the stuff as I showed in one of my videos. It was just like a piece of the character and it was just static and stuff like that. So right now I'm just showing off all this stuff here, this animation stuff. But um yeah, I'm hoping that I may not even get a lot of viewers though, followers, but it's nice and interesting just to see. So again, I'm gonna throw this thing up here, and hopefully by the end, I can't control. Um, I can't multitask either. Like, yeah, so I want to check out these guys once, if they're still on after the they show off some on. Probably sound nice, and there's probably a lot of things I've been doing. Um, catch up on whatever I've been doing here. It's yeah, whatever I've been doing here is I was just trying to get. I haven't combined the stages together, and I was gonna play the game to kind of test it out, but over here I just kind of like making sections. So, and I'm also making one of the characters too. So we're working on one of the bad guys. I'm not happy with how the line art came out. I might have to change it. It was like 3 o'clock a.m. It's like I'm tired. I want to go to bed, but I was like I need to get this done because who else is going to get it done? And that's supposed to be this guy here. I'm probably going to fit around with the sprite and see how well it kind of like or how well I can change it to look exactly like the thing. Okay, so but right now I'm just fiddling around with a couple of stuff. First of all, I gotta do task. If anyone's on amino, please hit me up um at my amino art at anime. Amino is small amino, small, but we have a lot of OCs and fan art that I like to feature people. Even during the podcast, I like to feature people. Those are close. Those I meet and really good artists and stuff like that. And I also like to read stories, but I read them bad, and I just try my best in Jamaican we'd say big up. Uh, yeah, we'd big up one person. So I like to help people get to where they need to by giving them a shout out for their good work. So right now on Amino, I'm just trying to. Nose is getting. My nose is automatically like didn't feel like this till now, but yeah, my nose just got stuffy. Maybe because I'm online, so I feel like never happened like this until I got online. Last time I had like that was sneezing. And last time I was like sneezing my brains out. There we go. All right, so that's done. So art on. I guess I could just do a little magic tricks. Never usually, but that's awesome. Um, so here are art at anime. Art underscore anime. This is where I usually post some stuff here, and yeah, I make sure that I show off some content here. I also have my own OmanaC little small things where I kind of make it a share folder. Yeah. So here's where I post my digital deck of cards from the 40 starter ones. Actually, since we're since I'm here anyways, let me show like how the cookie is made or how the bread is baked. So I showed in the previous video, but here was my starter 40 card deck because um, I don't know zero about card. I don't know a little bit about card games. I played Pokemon. I played Yu-Gi-Oh. I played Digimon. I think I don't know. I had a card, and back in the day, I used to like back that in the era. I used to make my own Pokemon cards or Digi on cardboard paper. I shit you not, cardboard paper, and I would glue. I'd glue like eight by 11 white printer paper onto a thing, draw on it, and then I would give it to my friends and stuff. So fast forward what like 20 years from there, I decided, hey, you know what? I'm back in the game only because I'm on Amino. Yeah, that nose is getting real tough. Um, you might hear some sniffling, but it never actually happened like. But it might be because like I'm I'm now talking to people, and so like like you gotta act up now. So, not the first card, but as you can see here, this is really the main character of the game that we're dealing with right now, Lady Omana, and let's just say sure that's her name, that's her picture. Her character because at that time when I was creating these cards back in 2019, when I had the idea, I was like, oh gosh, like okay, I need my community to be more active. But as time goes by, as you find out, it's not the community that was like kind of falling apart. It was the whole app. And why am I still on Amino? Because I have a little bit of hope that that there's still a chance that people will like uh we'll come back to the site, even though it's like like it's the 10 years of jank and it feels like it's falling apart. You're hoping that it's gonna there's some hope in there. And also, not only that, it's also for the original character authors, artists and stuff like that, and authors who are trying to make something too. I want to make sure that I can help them out as I help myself out because as I growing up, you never got that real help. Wait, because my ears are blocked. Some of my ears a bit. No one ain't talking. Sorry about that. Um, I don't know why science is like already acting up, but allergies and stuff like that. Like I said, no one really back in the day was like, "Hey, yo, I'll give you some help and stuff like that." And even today, like I don't really get not really anyone that's going out there. It's just like kind of commenting and telling people, "Hey, this is can help you out." Like you had to kind of put it, like people had to fish for it, and um, I never really got that kind of thing. Even when I was growing up, and I was like, "Okay, well, can anyone help me with my work? Can someone tell me what I'm doing wrong and stuff like that?" And um, that never really came. And so what happens is I had to find it. I had to talk to other people who were looking for their stuff. So that help never came. And so I wanted to offer other people help. So in this case, I started making these original character cards and stuff like that because I was like, what we're going to do is we're going to promote my old amino called original manga art and novel. Oh, God. Huh, that nose is really bothering me. Hold on for a second. I don't know why. I got like okay. Like you have to like hold your nose and then like it'll open up eventually. I didn't take any Claritin or anything like that. Um, but I'm hoping that it would open up eventually. So in my like back in 2019, I was like trying to think of a way for people to interact with each other because I was saying, oh no, my community's not doing well because no one's interacting with each other. No one's really kind of like having that fellowship, like like what you would have at church. Kind of like finding ways to get people to play it together. So I decided to invent these cards, and this wasn't really the first card. This is really like down the line of its production. So it looks a little different with its premium characters, with its original character here. But Lady Omana was the lady with the mascot of that community, and OmanaC just happened to be the game because it's the same thing, but instead of saying academy, it's action cards. So I ran it like a school. But you know, things happen, and that's why I'm here in a different place. That's besides the point. I'll talk. I'll probably get into that later on. Um, the thing about it was I made a character name picture. Character because what happens is at that time I was thinking that these things are more characters that you're using. And so the idea was like, okay, we have our characters, our OC, and so you would be playing your characters in a comment section, but you'd post the pictures in a 5 slots that they give you. I did try to use this on Project Z, but Project Z doesn't have that kind of format that uh, Amino had, which just was kind of built for. I was promised that I would be able to bring my cards there, but the idea of people kind of like um, battling, trading, and doing some digital stuff wasn't really working out because it just the platform was very different. So here I was like, okay, well, this time we're on the Meetup platform. I went there, came back, and decided, you know what, this is what the platform, this is the thing that could work for the platform. I did email Mito a couple of times saying, hey, I got this cool thing. I did get a word from like one person, um, Trissa or something like that. But when I tried to send them again my pitch deck, they went quiet. So I understand it's company. I'm not, a company was going to do what a company does. If one person, if that person can't do anything about it, you can't really do anything about it. But you want to help people, and you want to try to like do roots for your platform or something that you adopt. So like I've been there for like at least 10 years. Like by anime amino, I think I'm really like was it not 10 years, but I think I am like 340 something days. Let me go check just to make sure because I don't want to sound like a liar. Check. I have been on the app for at least 9 years, 351 days. Oh, 360. Oh, so okay, almost there. Almost made my 10 years. So I only need it. So I made these cards. I made these characters, premium characters, so that means like it belonged to somebody. It wasn't just like a random OC and stuff like that. This thing, since it's on their platform and they have rankings, it was the best thing too. Having rankings on Amino allows like you to play these certain cards. Like so, if you're above or below the rank, so if you're like it goes up to 20. And I was like, okay, well, one day they'll go over 21, but research shows that after 5 years, like you have four. I think some people say it takes 5 years to each get up to rank 20, and they had gamification. They even when Media Labs or someone or the product managers even uh, and now acknowledged that. Well, one of them. There's this like some guy he is a streamer. He said he was a streamer on on a, on Twitch, and he is the new guy, new face. But they replaced him easily. I think he got out, so they chased him around. So he was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have all this streaming stuff like that." So yeah, I think he was the one who was kind of talking about gamification because they know that their app could have done things. They have quizzes and stuff like that, and I was like, you know what? No, you look at the thing or from the user interface of it, you're like, no one's really doing any of these things. They're just kind of like, no one's really interacting. So obviously I'm going to look for my community because what happens is like I can see the numbers, I can see my daily active members, I can see my monthly active members, I can see what's going in and going out, and I'm going to be like, oh, there's something going on here, and I need to really fix things. But of course, you're at the company's will, and they don't have to listen to you, even if you have the best ideas. If I was a programmer or something like that, I would have taken this to like a different platform or made my own platform. I even tried to. I have dabbled into it. Like, nonetheless, I have dabbled into it. But you don't have enough money, so you kind of have to work with whatever you got. So I have tried to dabble with like trying to like find card game engines and then trying to get people like friends to play it. But you have to kind of build up the value of this thing first before they can go like, I want to play your game. It's not as popular. Everyone's shooting for the popular thing, and I can understand because new things scare people. Like there is a Futurama quote that's like, "New things scare people" or something like that. And I can't remember, but new things that are foreign to people, they don't want. They don't want original characters. They don't want even anything close to that. That's okay. They want characters that they're familiar with. So the idea is to turn original characters um, into looking like they were already something that was existing on the market, and that people would be like, "Oh, cool, that character exists," and it would be just turning OCs into that. So the idea was to turn really anything that I had. So we had the mascot here. That's just a little preface. We have the mascot here. Take a little drink because this nose is killing me. It has just happened to act up now of all times. So I sound very nasally. I don't know if I'm about to suffocate myself to get my nose open on the stream. Plus, I know I did some research. It's like if you hold your nose, then your survival instincts will kick in, and then your nose will open up. But I gotta deal with it and suffer. I must suffer for content. My own body it's killing me slowly, trying to make sure that. Well, actually, it's opening up now. Anyways, my own body is slowly killing me, trying to make sure that my nostrils are opening up the more I talk about it. Yeah, that's good. All right, but it will open up again. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. You had these skills. These skills were basically kind of like, I don't know. I had to work with what I would get. So our last day, where it says here, like I think they're all broken. They're all broken skills. This skill is not in this build, in this MZ build, but it is in the, well, what can I say? The skill is in the MV. Do I have MV or MZ? Hold on, excuse me. I'm an idiot, so like I'm struggling to figure out what I have. Oh, I have MZ. Okay, so MV was a build I made, and it's probably there on the web somewhere. I don't know. I probably just hit it, but I tried to. I attempted to make OmanaC once before on RPG Maker, well, down the road. But this skill used to be there, but now it's kind of changed. So our last day, when a player of this card is down to 10 attack and 10 rep. So 10 attack was because you had in amino, because everything would just happen to be based off of amino, because that was like the idea starting point of, like I said, of who I was kind of trying to get the idea to. So you had the starting point. Um, in amino, you had rep points, and from 10 years they already had that. But yeah, the UI changed, and so happens it's moved left, right, center, back, and everywhere. And you would have it would go up to like 100,000s. And I decided, okay, if that's I'm the highest in my community. Was in my community. I was like level 18 or level 17. Was kind of developing this back in 2019. And I realized you can just half it in half. Like so, your first three numbers was going to be your attack, and the last three numbers were going to be your rep points because it was the attack points were more stable than your life points, and it would encourage people to build more rep and want to play more and stuff like that. So even by putting this video out there, I understand that I'm giving away ideas, but I think that's real. I think giving away the ideas is better than it falling into obscure, like never being ever heard again. I exactly the same thing with the characters too. I know I made characters that never will ever be seen again. So what happens is that it was using a recycling of things that are already there. So I'll get into that more when I get down the road of the thing. Who's ever listening to this out there in the world, in the universe? Hello. Okay, so uh, attack was like attack was 10. Our rep points is 10, and weapons is like if you got down, like if someone was you're facing with beat you down to like at least 10 attack and 10 rep points, then what happens? This would be automatic. This would automatically win. Will allow you automatically win because I don't know. I was just playing with ideas, just seeing, trying to think of unique ideas that people would be like, "Wow, this would be useful or something, functionality and stuff like that." Um, so that was one of the cool things. And later on, this does play. Like, I don't think anyone ever was able to land on it because I did a couple of few test games. Understand, like a lot of people did use this card, but they used it. But I don't think they got down to the skill. That was like the skill points was not trying to be like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon. The card was like I did my research on how their design was. I probably have like a picture of how they were and try to draw parallels to it. But I don't know which folder that could be in. Give me a second. Not that one. That'll be for later. We just check around. And let me just find out. Okay. Where the heck could that be? There's so many folders there's so many things I have, and they're all it's like a organized mess of everything. Um, don't even know where I put it. Don't even know where I put one thing. Like I have probably not that important still because it's just like lines drawn up onto each other. So the idea was to make card games. Is it special? They're all finished. Uh, oh yeah, the Project Shout. Probably that. So I tried to make a monthly magazine. Ooh, who's beeping my phone? Yeah. So over here, I tried to make a monthly magazine called the Omana Shout, and that was like, I threw a lot of ideas like that. So this is actually, I want to actually should have used this one instead of making an original Lady Omana. I could actually just use this again. But for the logo, what you see in the background right now, on right hand, this is complicated. Right hand. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So this is her dress. So it's a section off of her dress and stuff like that. Um, I should have used this one. This one was better. I like this one. I'll keep it up there just because. Uh, Amana was basically handed down to me, and it just became my uh sort of business because what happens is that I started to run it where it was like I changed up a lot of things in it. Just to give a little brief, like it was like a lot of the communities were dying, and I saw that, and this is what kind of also spurred the reason um for OmanaC. A lot of the communities, art communities, just had a lifespan, and the idea was to not allow that lifespan to fizzle out, because it was like it's all about survivability. If that's the word I'm looking for, I don't have a dictionary or thesaurus in front of me. So it was all about survivability and letting your legacy live on and stuff like that. Obviously, people who are younger don't really think about that. It's not like they're just trying to spend some time doing things. I'm not gonna find. I don't think I'm gonna find it. Probably it's on my old computer. Uh, a lot of young people are just like just had to want to have a fan club, and that's where I kind of like clash, because I wanted to keep the idea of original characters, because there was there was I maybe I was a bad artist. It could be just because I was a bad artist, but the reason why I stuck with Amano Amino was because it was a place that uh, uh, not harbored, but it grew originality. The idea that you can come to a community and everyone was not just like throwing fan art just to climb up to get popular, but you actually had to express your originality of your character, and it was just like different, unique characters, and not just like a bunch of kids making furries and looked like the printer exploded in their faces. And it's like, oh, look at my multicolored furry and stuff. Like, no, it's like people had unique characters. People had unique ideas, things, comics and stuff like that. And I didn't find out DeviantArt, so I was scouting the world. You could say the world. I was scouting even like during as high school, so I say that. I was scouting the world. I was scouting the web, just trying to find something something that you can say. These people, we have the same idea of originality. I'm not gonna find it. I was just hoping that if I could kind of buy time just to find it. Oh wait, it is. Oh yeah, here it is. And MySync. Here you go. Yeah, it was in the area of. God, I screen. It was in the area of things like MySync. As you can see, this Windows 10 layout. So this was made, back in the day. Uh, so I'll just kind of finish off that. So the reason why I've even joined Omana and stuff like that is because like the originality was there, because I was making original comics, which will be our example here, Black Men, and I wanted to get it out there, because what happens is like every place I went to was like you was no way you could win, because what you're facing against was the world of fan art on Instagram, on anywhere else, and you could draw the best OC you have, but no one will relate. But if someone drew like a Goku, even my friend back in the day, he drew Yu-Gi-Oh and Goku, and I drew original characters, but the people loved what they liked. You can't stop people from liking what they love, but the fact that they love your original and something original wouldn't stand up against dark magician over here. You can't see the point, but nothing would win against dark magician, because he's familiar, he's popular, he's part of a brand. Everyone knows dark magician. He's on TV, he's animated, he's the celebrity of them all. Blastoise. It's like your original character wouldn't stand up to it, even if you tried. So, when I was invited to Omana, like what happens is I had the idea of like, okay, we're going to keep it original, and that caused a lot of clash. People didn't want it original. The name was called Original Manga Art and Novel, Mino, but no one wanted to keep it original. They wanted to just be like everyone else. So of course I got backlash for like 5 years of being a leader on that app, in that community, because no one wanted it, and no one wanted the original when it was the idea of the name was supposed to be original. So they kicked and bucked against the prick, and they're like, "Oh well, come on, we want to have other things." But people were like, even like the worst artist that was out there make uh trying to make his art. I stuck up for him. I went and I said, hey, man, listen, man, these obviously this good artist is better than you, but we want to help you get as good as these good artists. But there's something about artists I just don't understand, and I know I'm an artist myself, so I just don't understand it. That's the thing about it. uh, you put your neck out for them, and you get your neck chopped off. So what's the point? But for some reason, I just love going back in there and getting my neck chopped off because it's like whatever. I got my neck chopped off, but I'll still bat for you because I could be an idiot. I understand that. I could just be stupid and just trying to be like, why would you care for people who don't care about you? Understandable. But because weapons is the art, is the idea, the art, the feeling, the people who are out there who haven't chopped off my neck, that no, this is what I'm doing it for, and this is where you kind of have to find out where did Almanac come from. Like you can't just pop out of nowhere because it has to have like a history, a feeling, a background. I've been listening to a lot of A.R. Bernard lately, anyways. Like yesterday, because I'm a churchgoer, so obviously I'm going to speak with like this kind of cadence, and people are surprised when I speak like this, but obviously they don't really know what's going on in the background. Uh, so, but the thing about it is like people. I don't understand people, or I don't really want to understand them. I don't know, but I try my best to do what I can to at least to help them out. So anywho, uh, we'll get to that game part, the RPG making part of the game soon. But we kind of want to go through this history because I want to document it too. Because the game is gonna it's gonna slowly form. But I'm trying to do the streaming thing so I can build some like awareness to the game. So when it gets there, build its value and then like sell it off. Because Black Cement here is a personal comic, and I was really just making comics at the time, but I wasn't really making comics to sell. I mean, I sold a couple of comics. Uh, and I one of my Toronto like I think a not WizardCon. No, sorry, I met some people at WizardCon. Uh, uh, forgot CK. I met him at WizardCon. Him and the kid 336. Later, I found out they're on DeviantArt, but I moved from DeviantArt because it, I never got the reception I was looking for. But yeah, he bought some of my books. So shout out to CK. Thank you for buying my books because it's the only people who really bought my books you remember who did it, and it's just good. It just goes on. It's an everlasting impression. So stuff like that. People see my stuff, but they didn't really invest in me. But it's nice to have someone who you don't know, you probably met once, says, I'm going to invest in you. And oh, sorry about that. It's Windows open. It's nice to have people who want to invest in you because you realize that you want to invest into other people. And so from that gesture, you want to invest into other people. So as we kind of break down what is going on in Almanac and what is going down, let's just kind of go through this whole card basis and structures and stuff like that. Um, that nose thing, I can't solve it. I just have to power through it and just hope that it sounds well. So we have here our example of what I was saying before of our character thing. I want to make it unique, and every card is going to be unique. I mean, there was another person who was making their card game, but I don't know what happened to that. They had a board and everything like that. But I was going to keep mine digital because I was confident. I was confident, but I wasn't confident enough to like turn these into cards and stuff like that. People did see the card fade and like, hey, Kuro, I want to work with you making cards and stuff like that. But the idea wasn't ready yet. The idea was there, but it just wasn't ready to be turned into cards because you would make the cards. I'm kind of basing this off of even making manga. You'd make your cards one. Two, after you kind of like you made your cards, who's gonna really buy it? How you're gonna really sell it? Like all about a business plan. And for my books, I had a digital seller like on Lulu. I haven't put the books back up there because I would have to uh, TFD them and then put them on there and buy my own books again so I can put them on the market. stuff like that. So I don't really want to. I spent too much money already just trying to buy, just trying to like make those books. But then they got taken off because there was their site crashed. And so the idea was like, go digital. Go. I was doing a hybrid of digital and print. Didn't really sell, so I didn't really chase the idea. So and obviously I'm getting my the people who are supporting me are saying, you're supposed to make sell money, and little did I know, it was like it was a hard business to get into. It looks fun, but it's actually pretty hard. Like Clownfish was even talking about like getting into web comics and stuff like that. I thought it was like the golden child, where everyone could get into comics. Like no, it wasn't. Like if you can't really get into the Marvel and stuff like that, then you have a better chance going web, but then you have to build a community. So I tried to build any community I could really possibly do. I even tried to support other communities. But the best and the strongest will survive of all of them. So I guess that's saying survival of the fittest. Or but if faith in God, I as a religious man, I trust in God, and you know it doesn't have to always be the way that I want it to be. The Lord will always direct my path, stuff like that. So who knows? I don't know. But what I have to do is just pray and actually pray. Like, how do I even pray online if I want? If I had to, I actually pray for a lot of people. I'm not. What's the word I'm looking for? There's a word. I'm trying to think of. There's a word. I'm not. Whatever. I can't think of it right now. It was in my head, but I can't think of it. And I think I'm blowing up the speakers to like see that meter over there. Anyway, but I'm trying to avoid my note. I'm trying my best. Such a balancing act. Anyways, like I was saying before, you want to make some unique looking cards. So you see this here, the water, the attributes and stuff like that. I was like, I don't want to do magic. Sorry, I don't want to do. Well, actually, no, that's one thing too. I'm allowed to write about magic because what happens is from a young age, my mom was like, "Don't write. You're a Christian. You shouldn't be doing magic." So all my comics have been about everything except for like fantasy and maybe a little dash of fantasy, but not really about that. It's just a little bit about a little dash of like more technology. I like the '80s when they were like talking about those '80s anime where it was about the technological kind of like takeover, and I'm more into like nothing a little high fantasy. I'll read something high fantasy, but I'm not into that kind of magic. But I also like blend the line because this will probably talk more about too as I talk about blending. Actually, that's a good idea. Before you get into RPG making, that sounds like even a better idea. Um, um, yeah. So I'm feeling do anything as I mean I'm not doing it right. Oh, my nostril open up. Woo! I can breathe again. I buy nose and breathe. All right. So I was saying, um, the idea is that in the almanac thing, there is the okay. So the idea in the almanac thing is that you have these cards here. So I didn't like the attributes. Like look at it, magic and um, you had magic and you had uh, water magic, and I didn't want to do that. There's no space on the card to develop anything like. So I didn't want to do that. But I wanted the character, and I was looking at the sizes of the character. I was like, okay, well, the picture could be big because it's really about the original character. That's the thing about it. Like, it's really about having that original character. And over here, you had Pokemon had their skills, Yu-Gi-Oh had their descriptions, I wanted to have something unique, and it's probably not unique because like people have already done these things before, so it's not really unique. But I didn't really want to do all these things. I just wanted to have like something similar to Yu-Gi-Oh, similar to Pokemon. And people who tested the game out in the card version, they're like, yeah, it's like a Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh kind of thing. But I guess because it's because people's idea of what a card game is usually Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh. They're like they've only that's what the top two things, so they are more familiar with the thing. Obviously, I'm trying to make something unique so I can sell as a product, but also trying to make it that it feels something that I would like at the same time. So that's where like the character, the design and aspect of it, the down here would I'm kind of in the way actually. Um, actually, let me just do this. I realize I'm in the way. Um, here, um, Black Suit Men here was what this would be the thing that would be that would promote the series. So I said this is a good idea to have on the card. Well, the green color comes from the amino apps because I wanted to blend in with the with the app where they're using a lot of greens on water markings on their thing. That was deliberate. I have to admit that was me deliberately like saying, okay, guys, look at this. This kind of looks official, doesn't it? So I wanted it to blend so that people would be like, wow, this looks interesting. I want to get into it more and stuff like that. And that even amino apps who, I don't know if they'll ever listen. I don't know if they'll ever listen, if they will ever listen. This is where I was like, okay, listen, I want to like that. I was hoping to help whoever, really, whoever's there because like just like I felt for the app. I wanted to keep it sustainable because what happens is that there is a place that I can call home. Was a place where I can call home, and that's where times kind of have changed over the time. So me trying to create all this stuff here results in like a game that I was trying to create. So you got like the name of the game here, just to kind of thing. I don't know where that came from. Actually, I don't think that came related to anything. I guess I was because there was no back facing to the game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon, they had you can flip the cards over and you can get the back. There's no back facing the game, but there are back of the cards as you can see with my, uh, as you can see with this background here. Yeah, that's back facing of what the cards were. So I still finding with that. We'll solve it soon. Um, so as you can see, with there was this background here, this this almanac at the top here. This is the back of the card. It would be cool if it was animated and stuff like that. Uh, so I was making this before Capcom started to make what's it called again? So it's that their card game and stuff like that. And I was like, oh great, Capcom's already making their card game. I'm like, yeah, I'm far behind. I ain't gonna catch up anyways, but at least I can enjoy the journey. Enjoy doing what I can to to make my game. So as you can see, the names here, the pictures get bigger, the attacks are just there. The level you had to be like at least 12 and lower to kind of get some it gotta be like 12 and higher to play this card. And just by using amino and stuff like that, but the design has changed over time because it's 2019. You're new to this and you're just like people are gonna play this game, or the people you're making this for are going to enjoy it. I love this. Like, and it's like all promotional and stuff like that. Like, if I come back to this, kind of just want to talk about this a little bit. Omana Shout was a magazine. I was like, okay, guys, let's get together because what happens is that we can't work. We're not making it by being individuals. Having like just one individual. Like, we're all separate, and the fact that we're all separate is making it a little hard for anyone to get things done. So the idea was to build some collaboration, and it worked. We got one chapter out there on to pass. I would have to find it. I could probably throw it into the chat. If you could, we have one chapter out there, and like go over there, find it fast. I had to log in. Uh, on Shout. And I tried to put this on MangaTube, but they denied it. Didn't MangaTube didn't want it. So let me just put this here into the chat. So if anyone's interested, so this was the webcomic version of our thing. We would try to just create a comic here called the Omana Shout comic, and it was just to sustain the community. Like any idea that would help out, that would help us out. Um, and like even I had to throw some stuff in there. I had to make an original comic that I kind of just like just made. I tried to make a a shojo comic the best I could. Um, just while I was making Black Suit Man, I just tried to make something, and it kind of I think it also kind of went further with the idea of trying to even make or make almanac, because I think I've used ideas just to make things, even literature we had here, um and even people who even sent their stuff in to get turned into almanac cards. So so I don't know if he's even still making this or something like that. Oh yeah, and then Panel Jam. That place is still open. Don't forget to check Panel Jam. It's a really good place too. I wanted to stay and help more, but what happens is like I had to watch over the community and stuff like that. This one, I believe, was mine, and then it was like working with other people and stuff like that. So, um, and then a bunch of other things that happened there. Let me see. No, can't open up. Okay, well then I'll just have to say Panel Jam, and then hopefully people will go there, and stuff like that. So whatever, if you could go to paneljam.com, that if you're an artist, you should check this place out. But I don't have the link here, and I don't want to type it out for stuff like that. So as I was saying, let's get into that. That's where this cover was really coming from, because what happens is like it was the idea of trying to develop new ideas, new comics, and new things to get the community going, because you're like you're running, you're trying to run the community, you're trying to help people out, you're trying to make sure that their needs are met, and you're trying to do everything, and after 5 years you're doing it, but there's so much clashing, people are like fighting against you, and it's just like you're trying to help people out, and you at the end of the day, they when you at the end of the day when you retire, they either give you a watch or they kick your ass out and tell you to go f yourself. And I got the I when I stepped down, I got the get the f out of here, Kuro. You did your job, get out. It's like I everything I did, but you know what? I left them with a community that they had to do their best with, because Amino was gonna Amino and stuff like that. So yeah, I know I am trying to kind of like bring it back a little bit. Not per se. Not not Amana, because what happens is that they, as soon as I left, the people who didn't like me, because you don't spend 10 years on the app. Really, you don't spend 5 years on the app too without someone trying to get at you. So as soon as I stepped down, people started to come out the woodworks. They're like, "Yay, he's gone! Woo, he's gone! Yes, let's have our blood orgy." And I was like, okay, so here are the effigies. Oh, they're burning it! Wow, they knew they're gonna burn it, so they did that. So, uh, my career, my mod career as helping people out went down as a as a ball fire, but not in the way that I was hoping that'd be. I was hoping that it was like they'd be like, thanks, Kuro, because okay, well, the last person who kind of created it, I was like, well, here's what we're going to do for her. I was like, hey guys, let's get together and we'll make a bunch of artwork for her. Let's just say thank you for giving us this, for this community, community and allowing us to use it because it's for original art and novel and all stuff like that. But after 5 years, I turned into the villain, and they're like, "Get out!" And what was I supposed to do? I guess I'll just take. I just said, you know what? Hey, you guys, if you guys don't want to, you guys didn't want me in the first place and stuff like that. Well, they couldn't really get rid of me, and the people who wanted to get rid of me were just trying everything. But I outlast them, and that's the good thing. So I took I took the winnings because I was the one who was running the bank. I was the one who's supplying all their needs. I was the one who was helping them out and doing all the things, and I had access to the bank that was supposed to help the community. They're like, "Well, get out. We don't want you," and stuff like that. I was like, "Okay, I'll just take what I got and gone." So, um, before I left, I think one of the person I used to work with, I think she told the guy never to trust me. And so it's a guy was telling me like, yeah, it's not as good as it was before, and the guy hates you. I was like, oh, well, I know that because what happens is when I try to talk to him, he felt so cold after everything I did for him. So it turns out that you could help everyone out, and you can still get a knife lodged into your spine. You can still help them out, and they'll twist it, but it wasn't really for me. It was for helping them and helping the idea. Because what happens is like I just like to help people. Anyways, so I digress. We come back to the card game. Sorry about that. We come back to the card game on this thing because I was like I had a place to store it. So this is the last remnants of the community, the community that was even left of it. The mascot that was there. As soon as I left, they tore down her poster, and they're like they got rid of everything that was a resemblance of the community. The thing that made it, they tore it down so they can look like a generic art place. They can virtue signal and do all the fun stuff they like to do. Well, it's their thing now. They're asking me to come back. Some people are asking me to come back, but I was like, nah, I don't need to come back. I got my own place. I got my own place here. All right, I'm moving on. Team Amino gave me this place. Oh, yeah, no, Amy posted something. But made another robot. Okay. Yeah, Mel Amy makes a bunch of these robots and stuff like that. So probably gonna ask me for my help later on. Be like, hey, hello, Kuro, you got anything? And it's like this is the remnants of what's left. And my new mascot that I made, which she has a card, but we'll get into that soon. So back to the Almanac community. Uh this is where I kind of store the cards online. Uh So, and I just kind of feature what I have. It's not that I want to do. I want to go over here. So you have your starter deck, which is Lady Omana with the mascot art. I changed her name. Her name is now 3A, but it's because, as you can see, I anthropomorphize the communities into kind of new things. Um, you can see I went by the pseudonym Lady Omana because that was the name I was using to kind of like say there's more people working on this project than me. Um, but most of these things were me and stuff like that. So Lady Amana was also me and another alt account that was holding the amino coin. So just in case amino was like, hey, now you got to pay for your community. I'm like, all right, guys, I got this. I am sitting on a gold mine and I'm going to make sure that we don't go down. But yeah, well, whenever we went down psychologically, then we went down monetarily. Uh, but in the cards are in the game, you won't have these things because I understand this is a amino product, but this is on Amino site that was supposed to be for them. But on my game, for me personally, this is all gone, and that was like the only thing that really needed to go. The color doesn't really matter because what happens is they don't have a trademark to the color green, but that was the green that they're using on their watermarks. But this is theirs, and this is on their site, so it stays there. So it's not so any card that's being sold doesn't look like will not have this. Any other place that would be. And also, I got like a copyright for this game, so that it became. I make sure I have a copyright for all my stuff, even Black Cement. But I have a copyright for this game too, so that it's also protected. Uh, Also, a number 2019 product, and it also displays the I bet that's him trying to ask me right now. No. Anyways, uh, so I had this back in 2019 when I got when Team Amito gave it to me. Uh, so it was level 13, and I had to give her ability because where abilities were posting cards were like, as I was using my alt account in there, I would just repost people's works. Like it wouldn't repost outside the app, but people were like, "Oh, don't repost my work," but they were posting their works nonetheless inside of place. But people didn't understand what they mean by reposting. They're just like, "Don't repost my work," but the repost button is just to help them be seen. But they didn't. But they're kids and they're thinking like, "Oh, I gotta protect myself because it's gonna get stolen." Later on, like some guy was like saying, "You know what? There's nothing original. People are just gonna copy." Like I understand that. There's nothing original, but at the same time, you're helping. You're trying to help people out. So you have this Achan. You have Achan, which is the daughter of Lady Omana. Like there's some lore to these cards too. So I'm gonna go with that a little too. So uh, okay, so there's some lore with these cards. I'm gonna plug up my speaker. Do I have to turn myself down? I think my audio's nice. So actually, you know what I should do? Let me post this in the comments too, because this is all stuff. So these cards here, and actually let me just do one more. Let me do one more thing. We just post my here too. So because I'm gonna most likely post this on to my stuff later onto my thing. Uh, I gotta change all this too. You can see my profile. Anyways, Chan, she is because I got the community after she becomes the daughter of Lady Omana. Okay, something like that. There's not really a hard fast lore, but it's just really just kind of like what was built out of the game, and stuff like that. So Chan is Lady Omana's adopted daughter. But what happens is she doesn't like her. I made a little comic too, but she doesn't like her mom. So what happens is that after I left the community, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take on the form of Achan, and I was a Lady Omana because what happens is I was playing the mother and the father of the community. I know that sounds a little loony, but I had to kind of create a character for the mascot. So she and I later found out that in Hindi, Omana means mother. Let me check that for a second. I know because I think so, but fact check myself. Even though I know the answer or where I got it from, I don't really do that. So Omana meant mother in Hindi, so I kind of played up that angle. And Achan was just because yeah the original creator of the community, they just gave up and left it to just die and stuff like that. So Team Amito gave it to me, and I decided, this will be my thing. I feel like I'm suffocating. Hold on for a second. I feel like I'm dying. All right, kind of back, but kind of like feels like I'm also like suffocating as I set up. You can ever get that feeling where like you're you're like you're you're suffocating, and you're like, I just want to breathe properly. Like, come on, nose. Yeah, this is gonna look loony when you see when someone is watching over this VOD in the future someday. They're like, oh, let me just skip over and see this guy's like, is he trying to kill himself? It's like, oh, like no, I am not. I am just trying to get my nose working. It's a natural inhaler. It's oh, it helps nasal passages feel better, but I'll never feel better. Anyways, let's go on to the lore. So OmanaC the card game. I wonder when I'm going to get my own section. Like, how? Like, I just want to know on YouTube. You know, how since like do I have to like publish the game and do I have to like send it to YouTube and YouTube guy be like, oh yeah, it's a real game, or when is the line where the game starts to become real and like do I have to put it out there or does does it because of like the fandom have to be out there? Do they have to acknowledge me? Do I have to like who's actually I don't want to say that it's because like whose dick do I gotta suck? But no, I don't want to do that. Anyways, this is not a kid friendly stream. Anyways, um, like like what do I have to do to get the Almanac game out there? Like, do I have to do I have to write the company say Almanac's a real game, or does a fan base that be like, yo, this cool game Almanac, and they're like, oh wait, hold on, what's this thing? Oh, I hear that thing. Oh, Almanac, I want to get on that too. Like how do I even get there? Anyways, moving on. Chibi Omana, she's in the game. That was. I just switched back to back to RPG Maker. Chibi Omana in the game. This is her first design of Lady Omana. Here she is, my little girl. Um, Chibi Omana is in the game because what happens is Um, it was the first design I came up because the original logo of the community was an ink bottle, like an ink well. And then I was like, oh, we should turn this into, I was like, so our leader left and it was up to me to keep the community going. So I was like, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn it into an anthropomorphic girl. A lot of people are like saying, oh, it looks like a 1920 flapper and stuff like that. Um, I was like, I liked it, but it was lacking a color because the picture what I was basing off of was black and white. That's it, and it needed more character. And I didn't want to give her skin color because what happens is that I wanted people to, uh, I wanted to be racially neutral. That it was just like you impart your feeling onto this character, right? So it wasn't just like it's for black people, it's for white people, it's for Asian people. Um, you're supposed to what was I word I just used? Impart yourself onto the character. It's so difficult. I know it's not going to clear up, but it's so annoying when you're trying to talk and breathe at the same time. um, and she was level 1. So what happens is that she came with these years, so that any year I want to honor the years that people came in. Um, because it was like, okay, you came in the first year. I know you probably didn't get nothing. You came in second year, third year, so we want to celebrate together. And I was like thinking oh, we want to come together as one, as one. You know, oh, that was the whole idea. It's like the O meant more than one thing. It didn't just mean this character, but coming together as one for originality, or at least the idea of something being original. It didn't have to be original. It didn't have to be perfectly original. It just had to feel like, okay, we're coming together to one mindset of and like I said, most of the stuff has to come when I kind of matches up with my religious background. Most of this has to they come paired together. So the idea of like coming together as a community, knowing what a community is, being a part of a community and stuff like that, and trying to make one online and with a bunch of people with like different backgrounds and stuff like that. It just comes out like this. Um, you got a purple. I did. There's something. I know I did something with this. I just wanted to do something with the purple and the thing. I want to do something with the purple and the brown. But oh yeah, I think that was one of her color designs. If I look into my stuff, I might be able to find that thing. Um, might find her original, like what her like humanoid adult form is. And so I'm going to pull a pro move, and then I'm going to toss toss a controversy. Um, but I can't find it. So prepare yourself. Not gonna pull up any hentai or anything. If I can find it. Anyways, but Lady Amana actually 4 years old. Oh no! All right. Well, here comes the and here comes the angry fan mail, and I would call it angry fan mail because on after I beat a guy in Tekken, someone sent a message on PlayStation, being like, "You, I hate you because you're so good." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." It's like like you get the hate mail when you beat a guy in a fighting game, and it's just like, "Oh, you bloody spammer! I hate you. You suck." It's like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I'm expecting to get a on my desk some nice delicious. She can't be 3 years old and an adult and other stuff like that. It's like, who cares? It's the original character. Just an original character. It's like some guy had to ask me. He's like, is how old is she? I'm like, she's as old as you want her to be because what happens is that you're supposed to impart your green thing. Okay, there you go. You're supposed to impart your ideas onto this blank character. It's just supposed to just do her thing as just be a but this is her first design. So she was like this, but she's actually just like 3 years old and stuff like that. And her daughter's like probably older than her. I later found out that this community is actually older than the one that I used to think. So this one's 6 years old, and this one's about 5 or 4 years old. I actually made like fudged the numbers by accident, but I think it's like 5 years old or something like that, or just turned 5. But she's 6, so how could she be the daughter? How could she be her adopted daughter when she's older? Well, anyways, it's a fantasy anime kind of thing like that. So you're just gonna have to just roll with it. And this is her. This is a Lady Amana before. Uh, I don't know how she got. I don't think I made a lore where she actually, or why she is an adult now. I just said this is just a piece of her in the game, which will kind of hold the canon. She Chibi Amana is just like a piece of Lady Amana. But here's the cool thing about it. I'm gonna just talk about that later on a bit. Uh, so furries needed a representation, needed some representation, and so I was like, yeah, okay, I can draw something furry. It's probably not that good. Look at it, I do whatever I can, and I was like, also like there's like a huge RP and stuff like that in there. So of different kind of people. So I and so I was like, yeah, this will probably they'll probably take to this. I don't know. But I just made it because also I made it in a way that I think I don't think I did a good job of it because I'm not a furry artist, but I did it like what I could. Moving on, Burnt Wolf because well in the game I actually made the face kind of like look forward and stuff. I did a lot of changing of the face, so this is the original art. I don't know if it's a base of something. It's probably a base. I at that time I don't know because I was just buying bases with coins. I was buying art with me, so it's probably base. It's probably a free base belonging to somebody, but now it's in my game and I own it underneath the copyright. But yeah, I don't know. Like I just bought this because it came packaged with something, and this I also changed that up to the game. Let me just look at the game. Yeah, no, you can hear that. All right, so I bought some. So these are things that come with the game. Some of these things I turn into stuff. Yeah. So here's the one. Here's here's where I changed the design to make it look like this is the RPG game came after. So after like I kind of like down the road, I was like, okay, well I need to do some of these cards because no one's really looking or playing with them. So no one's really people are looking at them, but no one's playing with them, and I'm sharing them all over the place, but not catching that fire. People actually There was one time some guy was like, "Where?" So I followed you. Where's my cards? And I'm like, I was like, "Oh, give your cards." I was like so happy. I was like, you know what? I am glad to give these cards away. Here, just here, take them right here. Go on. It's like go on. It's like I don't care. Like do whatever you want. You're like they're nothing's free. As I was watching this video today by Boone on YouTube, my brother showed me a video where like the, the Twitch and Discord and all this other stuff like that. It's like how the apps, how these sites are and your information stuff like that. So you go on with like something with like okay, obviously you're going in here just trying to do something. It's not going to be free, but you know you're gonna hope that by going into these things that you can get some awareness for your stuff. Regardless, you're here to sell, and so this is what this game is here to do. It's here to make money because what happens is like it's you want to get into something different and you want to try new things. Well, that's one thing too. It's not just about trying new things, wanting new things, but you want to find ways to turn your passion into some kind of sort of profit that can help you out in the future. And like they said, the comic didn't really work out for me so much. So here's another idea. And I even talked to a guy named Gaijin Curtis. I hope you're doing well. Just give you a shout out. Um, he was saying to me, yeah, oh, he's a voice actor. He does some nice voice acting, movie trailers and stuff like that. Uh, we fell out, but like I said earlier, I'll shout out people who need to get shout out because what happens is even if I'm down, I'm gonna still big you up, man. Even if the foundation even if you got if people don't like me, you still gotta bat for them because at some point they helped me out, so I'm gonna help them out. And if they got issues about with me, out that's their issues. But I'm gonna still gonna give them where respect. I'm gonna give respect where respect is due. So I'm gonna give where respect is due, and say, yo, you help me out. You still are really good, even if like we have fallout. You still need the thing you were looking for. And regardless of how much we may have fallen out, I'm talking about like anyone who's kind of like don't like me. I'll still say, you know what, you did something that's still worth getting shout out because you know what, at the end, no man is island. Anywho, Burn with Pup also bought. Don't have. I actually didn't have an artist name for that, and this is just the starter deck. Again, we didn't really want to go in my community with the name KuroOnist because people would be like, it's just one guy doing the whole thing. So, but this was one of my. I think this is actually original character. I think this is original character that hasn't been used in any except for the game. It was supposed to be for one of my comics, which was about genes. It was supposed to be for mechanical theory, which is the comic I was working on. I think I have it on thing. It's on. I know I did. I know it's on amino. But I tried to set up a what do you call it, Instagram page on it, but like it's a media thing. Um, it's definitely a media thing. Like when you try to set up your thing, you're like, oh, I can do that too. It's like no, you're. Is this really for those who like have a media uh presence? Where is it? Okay, here it is. So over here we have mechanical theory, another proof of concept that I was making of like whatever I can make. Actually, throw this into it too. Like so mechanical theory, which I could put her in there too. I just making something. That's something. Anything that came to my mind, I was like, yeah, I like this idea. Still kind of debating how to make the main character into a girl, or just keep it as a guy. But it was a side project on Black Suit Man, and it's like a 3-part series and stuff like that. So this here is just a proof of concept, and I just wanted to keep it somewhere on the way. It wasn't supposed to look good; it was just supposed to be made. Um, and it was supposed to involve robots because no magic, magic no not allowed. So make robots, have fun, uh, and they say technology is indistinguishable. You could probably do that on a level. So, but that's what I'm kind of doing of OmanaC right now. Just trying to do the magic distinguished from technology kind of idea. Since, like I said, not allowed to touch. So this was supposed to be one of the robots that are in there. I think I had the design somewhere, but it's just I never really used it, and I just kind of kept it around. As you can see, I'll probably reuse those things. Almanac is about grabbing characters from anywhere and then making it into your own Smash Bros. It was like people don't. There's I found out like people just don't want their OCs anymore. And I'm a person who dabbles in OCs and comic making and story writing. Obviously, I'm going to grab this because I'm like, yo, this is. I told the guy, probably this character's going to show up, but I told the guy, you're sitting on the gold. That is gold right there. But he was like, I don't want my comic anymore. And my last podcast, the guy was saying, I was like, there's a couple few who are able to actually uh, do the kind of thing where they're able to, know, um, where they can actually figure out how to work in places where it's like, okay, got two objects, what am I supposed to do with this and this, I got these two pens. I got a pen and pencil. What can I do with this? Obviously, I can work with these two things so and it's true. Another man's junk. Wait, man's junk is another man's treasure. Okay, because I was like thinking of like the number of balls is another man's treasure. Like how's that? Well, yeah, if you think about that in it too, for a bank, another man's junk is another person's treasure. Something like that. Um, So don't worry about the this stuff. They're just there. They're flavor text, but it's really about the name and the fake and what. Uh, this is the one that I was like original design, and I turned it into a card here. I haven't added it to the game, but oh gosh, I'm putting guard tank 3 as the original one. Because there's no two, but there's one, and there's three. But two was supposed to be something else. Like two, I had a vision for two. It was like a I don't know if I have like a design that I made out for it, and I just never used it. But I may have like have it, but the guard tank 3 was the original guard tank, and then one because like on the planet of Eurus 5, supposed to be similar to Mars. This they couldn't get out the spaceship because they had to leave Earth because say Xenogears in the beginning of Xenogears fired it stuff. So you got this one, you got that one facing each other. Gonna crash! Oh my gosh, they're gonna crash! Okay, enough of that. But I like this one because it's like all terrain, wheels, arms. I was like, I like Gundam, I like robots, I like stuff. You can see what it things. You can actually see what I like when you look at these cards. Here, some guy was like, "Oh yeah, so I made my own character called Flash." And it's like, no, I'm like, that's just. So I said, "Yeah, sure, whatever. Here's your card," and it paid me my coins. As I sent them on the way. So it's just a Kakashi. Like, don't you can't lie to me and say, "Oh, that's not Kakashi." That's a Kakashi. So I just made a card, sent them on the way since you wanted one, so you can pick another person's card. He was Almighty Ren was part of the Omana Shout magazines, and yeah, his artist made the artwork. He was a writer, and we just made cards. Dog Boy Comics He's still writing his comic, God's Lost Mercy, here. I got no link to it, so can't throw it to the chat so people can see my character here for Black Zoo Men. I've been working on this comic for like 10 years, but uh, I think I have to say I made the right. I had made the right decision because like nothing was coming through it. My mom was like, "Where's the money? It's not coming here." And hey, you know what? There's no money at all. So I had to throw Black Cement to the wolves. Say, yeah, I had to say Black Cement was like was still being done while I was like buying the for OmanaC. So because like I couldn't prove like through months I could not prove the Black Cement was making money. I was hoping it was a sunken cost fallacy of thinking Black Cement was going to make it. It could, it still can, it still can. There's like I still write the story, even though like I stopped like at chapter 23 and the main and I stopped on the Pastics webtoons. I have on both Tapasa web go webtoons. Uh, yeah. Actually, we're here anyway. So first of all, let's throw out for God's Last Mercy. So if anyone wants to check that out, so throw that out there. Um, and here in I also changed my here. I did a couple other stuff. um, I kind of this is I haven't put out the second chapter, and I'm too lazy to put out the next one. But on blue.com, on what do you call it on the pass, it has all the chapters, everything, even in the next one where I kind of stopped because I was like, no reception. You're not getting anything, so this is the end of it, but it does continue on. Oh, it's right here. And where is it? Yeah, I started just experimenting with like trying to change the chapters because it was like, do this, do that to get through this and that. It's like everything, everything was tried, nothing was availed. So, oh, actually, I didn't stop there. Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. Um, my mistake. When you stopped working on your comic for a while, I forget where you last left off. And the drawing took a while to do. I think it's one of my best chapters because what happens is I wanted to go further. I wanted to get through the plot. I wanted to actually have a ending point where I actually stopped. Um, but I didn't get there. No, I didn't actually get to the point where I was like, this will be the part where like I can say I completed it all. So I'm still in that. I want to get back to it. Kami no Kogeki. Yeah, yes, strike of the thunder, God of thunder. Yo, I love it. For a second. Oh, I think I enjoyed that too much. Just running through the curtains. Yeah, so like I say, maybe I don't have to even put it next to my and my nostrils open. So yeah, I did a bunch of this stuff there twice. Oh, did it happen twice? Yeah, yeah. I put two at the same pages. Don't know what happened there. But yeah, I didn't really want to just stop making this. I had fun doing it, stuff like that. Especially like this chapter. Like I think I started to add some more. I was realizing writing as one of the things I needed to do, and um actually hopefully as we go through the cards, I can show you um more about the cards. But here we go with the. I mean, you gotta like your work. There's some things that didn't work out. Yeah, honestly, senden ito danmaku. 1,000 year source. I was having, I was like, okay. The reason why this one's a little different, why I'm enjoying this one is because I started to take off the brakes on this. I was realizing that, um, the story when I was starting out wasn't supposed to be like about like what it's supposed to be. It wasn't. Didn't have like like it was just supposed to be a normal comic. But while I was waiting, I was pushing the the uh the stuff like the monsters and the transformations, and because a lot of our comics they just kind of jump into the like, oh yeah, we got to be going Super Saiyan already and stuff like that. But I was like, nah, and I was like, you have to pace it properly. Like, I jumped to Dragon Ball and a lot of people jumped to Dragon Ball, and Goku went Super Saiyan, and a lot of people kind of like paste their comics like that. Like, okay, Goku's gone Super Saiyan. That's the pinnacle of the comic. But well, I didn't watch Dragon Ball, but when I kind of got to understand Dragon Ball, it was like before Dragon Ball was a thing. I mean, sorry, before Dragon Ball Z was a thing, Dragon Ball and Goku never had that Super Saiyan. Goku was doing all the martial arts and stuff like that and learning new techniques. So he didn't jump to power scaling like that. But because a lot of people grew up in the era of uh, power scaling and strength and power and explosions and stuff like that, it became the norm for writing. So you would read someone's little story, and it was like it, it was like it had to be a power skill. This guy is getting so much power. Look at that and stuff like that. So I pushed it away for several chapters. I didn't want to go there so fast. I was like, I'm going to slowly make my way there, and then we're gonna get to there. And it just happened to be the main character. One of the titular main characters was just like just had to be the first one to die and then come back as this. So I had my I had the better brother. Like this is the Shisamaru cross Sephiroth um uh attitude brother. And I was like, I wanted to have like a have something that was cool enough to have to for like a big epic fight. And I didn't really want to stop there. Like I said, I wanted to do more. Um, but I also wanted to change up the art style because even in the beginning, when I created the comic and writing, uh, characters were like, oh, it was really worse than this. It was like 2011, 2010 once I started. It was like I was just doing stuff, just making characters and enjoying it. And the canon was all different, and so I had to go over the thing a couple hundred times. And it, the characters, and I had to change up things. And like even this was like a meme for Metal Gear when time paradox. I realized that I shouldn't really put meme there. People don't really get it because they have a lot. Come and go. But Kojima seems to have one that doesn't really die so fast. So obviously, I'm inspired by Kojima, Metal Gear, and Resident Evil. So I was like, why not put Metal Gear in 2012? Yeah. Well, it was 2011, kind of like why I kind of built this thing and stuff like that. I was only doing this because I wanted to make my animation skills a little bit better. So I wanted to draw comics so that I could become a better animator after coming out of animation school into like, comics. So as you see, there's a result of it. Oh, and in the back of it, actually, there's something. There's another little Easter egg in the back here that's not even in the. Because I don't remember what this is. Uh, but this is a chapter. I think I animated it first. Then, um, you know, tons of time. So we'll jump to the game soon. Um, where is it? No, it's not chapter 4. I think I got. But yeah, this is. I was kind of realizing my characters need to change simple faces and this was a Japan chapter where the comics really supposed to. This is 7. They're in New York because it takes place in New York. So this is after you get beat up. Yeah, I think it's here. Terrible voice acting. Just I don't know. See what we got out here. Maybe I should have like a stream that's just about just about reading comics, giving bad voice because I can't read properly and I can't uh I can't voice properly when I read. I wonder, yeah, you know what? And then yeah, point out, yeah, I had a black on black fight. I put on all this, so I should be able to get this because people were like, "Oh no, that's too controversial. You can't have it." But I'm like, listen, I did. I know the slang that's going there. Like, whoa, nigga, I heard you got, I heard you and your sloppy do. You got your ass to, like, I mean, that's why we're number. Let's be number one. Obviously, that's not true. We're not bad, and you didn't even get paid for all that trouble for that. Jr. His name changes. The problem is his name changes RJ to JR. I couldn't. I think it's RJ now, but it was JR. So this is like an Australian guy. I just wanted to make his suit a little different. Everyone has like different suits because I was thinking of like cosplay. Everyone's gonna have like different, cool looking suits. JR, lead them. Your boss, Captain Boss Toga. What brings you here? Captain Yoshiro. Unit 1 over. Your team recovered from very powerful. Oh yeah, that was a good chapter. They just gotten weak. That's enough. They should have gone. They've gotten weak. There's no need. We're just passing. All right, let's. And the whole team is beat up. And then like there's a lot of stuff that's happening in it. A lot of double agents place. A lot of fighting and out fighting. This is supposed to be New York. I did my best of the hours of trying to draw cars and stuff like that. And cars are like probably like the last trouble. I don't even know where this is in New York, but it might look familiar. I'd look at Google 100 times. There's a U-Haul, U-Pull. So you got this giant guy here, and then the chapter was actually supposed to end with Phantom Him. Um, because I might come back to this, but I'll just throw this out there anyway. But the chapter was supposed to end with. Okay, this is I just reused the age and put that there. It just looks cool. Phantom Him is one of my favorite characters, and I don't know why they didn't want to really throw everyone there, but he was like the mysterious bad guy that he like created his own team and stuff like that. And he's like supposed to be famous. And I was like thinking of this, like let our thoughts become power to phantom. That is Unison big, and we don't even kill his own team. He doesn't care because his kind of story falls revolves around his memory consumption, trip hammer, and then he has his book because he memorizes everything in his red in his. Actually, it's a red book because what happens is like redemption books. Uh, uh, also gives me time. I want the red one, songbooks, because back in the day, people would use still now, depending where you go, maybe small churches, you'd have the red hymn book of a thousand songs, Christian books. Okay, yes, sir. These Christian hymns and courses. Yeah, that's where he kind of came from. He's a mixture of Kabuto the Python, um, and he has like this red, and he has the book of redemption, which contains like everything that he has to encounter phantoms. It doesn't really make an appearance, or sorry, you can't really say it doesn't make an appearance. Story is not finished yet, so but in here he pulls out his red book, and that's why he's able to let's say memory consumption, phantom art, significant amount, really physical like object through memory. Such a weapon would be effective if it had not already been plural. So he speaks in a lot of sing songs, um, but he's also famous. So what happens is like I wanted to put all these space straps on him as I was like, straps and capes and so several element design. I know I kind of like look at it a while to see what it is, but I really could have done better. But this is old and you made it back in like what course. Got his hat, his beanie, his hat, his gully. It still leans onto his like ear side. So I tried this on myself. So one ear's exposed. He has a mask on. These little fades. This came from Seto Kaiba's coat. Phantoms usually wear white, so that's why most of them are wearing whites coats and stuff like that. He has just belts on him because it looks cool. Belts, like a Final Fantasy character, it got a ton of belts. And compared to Phantom Khan, Phantom General Khan, who's really tall, just want to put some. This has this, put some Phantom energy horns out there. Give some gauntlet strap across his chest, make him bald in his eyebrows. Oh, then yeah, they make every team diverse. I just really know how to. I'm just shadows, so I just try my best. Who's this robot? Who is this robot? He's not a robot. He's not a robot. It's a map. How do you even know? How do you even? How do you? Space has space has been in the. So this is my gosh, I forgot Sierra. Yeah, so she's the Mexican on the team. Like the American team is more diverse than the Japanese team, obviously because the Japanese team is based in Japan. American team character. So this is my she's the Mexican, and then even her design stuff like that. So we got a black guy. I didn't really color them all the time because like the contrast. stuff here, and then just using the powers like it, he's a wrestler and it looks. I got to chat with stuff. I'll get to that animation part. So if the forced perspective on uh, deciding to talk about custom weapons, who's human and who's not. So um, all this stuff here. I just want to get to where she is. Okay, he gets crushed, falls down, and censoring on the eyes and stuff like that. Also she's reading on medical because she's here to do a lot of medical stuff. Her backstory is that she is there. She's just here. She's working at the company so that she can get into a good medical school and then go back home. Medical stuff here. Because I don't know. Backgrounds. I didn't really want to do a bunch of. I really have to do them. Do I really have to do chapter covers? I don't really want to do chapter covers. They're a waste of my time. The story splits up into two. I think I like this also because uh, this is where they get into like what's going on into some conspiracy, like stuff is going on in the background. Trying to figure out all these things here, getting locked out. Then we come back into the backstory. Oh yeah, I love the design of Chevelle. Whew, I like this. I think she was one of my favorite. Well, later on, because I didn't have a face for her. But what happens is that I had to kind of develop one on the fly. So yeah, so here we're just kind of cutting through the backstory and how things work. Like these fakes are just trying to keep the meaties down from doing their thing, and then I just like this. And then there's an extra scene here that's only in I cut out because I was trying to give like you had to buy the comic book to get the extra scene because I'm probably forever long, but I have the book thing. I have the book. Let's see if I can find it. A second. I dropped everything. So this is not my first time showing Black Suman Volume One. This is the original volume, even with the swearing at the end of it. It kind of ends. I had to take it out because like my mother and sister like you can't have swearing in it, and I was like, but that's where the thing comes. That's why, and this is before we got all these things. Well, one guy was pointing out that most of the stuff here in the story, um, before it became controversial on the internet, are things that people started getting on the internet. Um, like a lot of these things were already written way before it got out there. Okay, it's like here it is, like right there where I think it was if I go up more right here. This is um this was a chapter that was taken out, and this is a chapter that was not put in the web version. Whereas like Rocky and Ishin would meet up and he would disrespect her, and then they would have a standoff kind of thing. And then she had some cool powers because in I think I don't I don't think I have it in the comic form. I think I stopped before that, but obviously she's a lolly. But what happens is she's like I combine Venom and a lolly together, so we'd have like this a sadistic child. But the other one is he's gonna make an appearance. He is more of a boy girl, and this is before everyone was hopping onto the oh Oh, hello. I arrived again late, and oh, hey, what's up? Um, Trying to talk about my stuff before I get into to my game thing. But no, I'm no, because I've been moving the time just to get like a better time schedule on the on my thing. On just I'm just trying to look for a better time. So I'm moving up the time to like at least 3, and I'll probably move it to 4, whenever I can get a better time and stuff like that. So no, like I'll always do OmanaC Mondays. It's just that I'm just trying to find a better time, and I'll still do like 4 hour streams and stuff, whatnot. Um, so yeah, that was my sadistic lolly, and then the books would look like this. You know, boom. Um, this was a middle chapter that I had put it in. That was that was like I just let me just print this because small issues. Oh, is that green on it? Okay, like is there green on everything? That's, I was like, yeah, and I guess there's some green. It's turquoise. I guess my background looks turquoise. To be honest, that's why it's going through. Um, this was the transition into the Japanese, even with like trying to do my imitation of how like what would be like the table of contents and kind of following up. So this was a small little chapter book, and I thought this would just like make the it would be able to make the money, like make some sales. But of course, it ain't going to be easy. Trying to show off my way to the right. Yeah, it ain't going to be easy. You're doing all this stuff and hoping like, oh yeah, that will show up. Like suppose this, but um, actually, I needed that. Yeah, I'm out kind of out of frame, but okay. Um, uh, but this one was like the transition um into the monsters coming into the story, stuff like that. Um, Going from the cannibal in CN City, or should I say Toronto, to some other lore where like I would like. I think I've already passed it. I'd have to go further. It's better to see here. And then Sierra Fumero. She's one of my favorites. I think I like the girls comic except for her, except for you, and the guys. But here is it's the animation where Lucica, she's supposed to be this like um she's supposed to be that muscle girl, that cheesecake. Um, that cheesecake. Oh, was one of my favorites. Could have made that all better. She's supposed to be the big titty anime girl. Um, and then and she's also like rejected from the fandoms too, but for a reason. And so this is where that animation comes from. And they're like, huh, that thing there, it is. I think the background element, like I said, is not there. Yeah. Um. Yeah. So above the buildings, he's trying to use one of the bigger trip hammer and using that Google Translate. As I'm not going to try name of my creator. I'm like, I was like, wait, I'm your creator, but it's supposed to be like in the name of God. But it was like in the name of creator. So she's just able to lift the con, and and I was like, yo, you know what it just do? Like whenever the phantoms are generating a lot of energy, the goblins is like it affects their clothes. So I had to stop just around here, but here we go. But don't have to worry about that. But yeah, this is my favorite girl. So I took very good care of her. Um, you're supposed to. There's a there is a She's supposed to be an Omnac too. I mean, there's two. I made an official Omnac card, but she's supposed to have one that's supposed to be for the chapter that was not, and it's gone. But this is really good because I don't want to lose it because I worked hard on it. But um, where did go? I know it's somewhere. Is it? probably in another folder. Um, but it's a scene from the future, the from the part of the comic that will be done. So maybe hopefully it's here. The one like, oh, that's the wrong folder. Yeah, that's like I was like, there's something wrong with this. Like there's something missing. I need to go here and I need to go to make. I think I put it. Yeah, I bought some new OC. Need to I need to use. Where is she? I don't want to lose that one because what happens? I'm like I want to use it. I'll lose it. Where is, I need to finish off, and I can get rid of that too. All right. Maybe I was in the wrong place. Here, there. If I deleted it, then I feel bad because I don't want to lose it. No, it's one of those things that you just like probably looking at, and then by the time I see it, oh yeah, that one. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. This is um AJ about B A Ao Chan. She created a version of a character that will be showing up soon. She's not on the cover. This is I think this is one of my favorite pieces from her, what she made of Akina Kuragi. Um, I was like, I love this piece of artwork that she made of her. I did the background and I did all the white. Design is originally by me. I mean, she was one of my favorites. Ooh, ooh. I like how she did hers. That would never that is better than what I even did. And she doesn't have her own almanac card, but you know what? Let's keep this one right here because let's keep this one right there. You get a spot on the screen right there. So just going here. Where is it? Okita Kuragi. You get a spot right here. You know, it's like just do it again. Oh yeah, yeah. This is one of the color scenes of Beard. Um, make her interesting. I might put these guys in there. I might move him into the game. Um, might move him in there because I remember for the reason I made him like an old comic character. The reason I really remade him is because what was it Overlords and something some Marvel Media was making some TV show Overlords and Underlings or something like that, and they wanted and someone said, "Hey, this guy wants you to wants a drawing of anything of like their drawing of the character and then they'll print on TV the stuff and the stuff like that." I don't know if they used it. I don't know if that design's there, but I sent it in to the guy and maybe they rejected it. I never seen Overlords and Underlings or something like that, some house thing by Pro Media. And if it's there, it's there. But if not, I'm obviously going to use this design again wherever it is because it's fine. And they didn't say, hey, you. I didn't get no cease and desist or saying, hey, that you can't use that again. Um, so no word, don't, no, can't, no knows. Anyways, um, I remade the Omanac comic, which well, I'm going to be putting into the game. From this one because I can't use these characters. I really can't use these characters again. Two of them don't belong to me, and it was just sort of like a group thing. But right here, I just replaced it with two other characters and made whatever I can. So that still belongs to me. Um, I find it like I hope I didn't delete it. That's what I hope I didn't. 'Cause it was oh, where are you? It was the maybe it's in maybe it didn't make the transfer. Maybe I gotta do it all over again. Maybe I didn't save it, and that was my first mistake. I know I made it. I put in hours, but I can't find it. And then it was like it's part of the comic. So oh yeah, maps. I made maps. Um, so this was the original game design for the game was uh using you would walk through the dungeon. So this that kind of inspired more of the game to go into RPG because there was a time where a group of us was playing D&D and what happens is like I was like yeah cool I'll play. I'm not really into D&D but I'll play it and I kind of slowly like just developed my game into like if it was a 5 grid and how would you be able to play it and stuff like that and working things out like would you need a D20 and also like on Project Z trying to get like to work disappear and just disappear. Maybe I grabbed it and put um because I wanted to turn it into a card. That's the thing about it, and it's supposed to be a scene where like Ishan and Gihan are attacking her, and she uses and she's cutting through with her psycho circus. Is that ever psycho circus or because it was called Power Drill, but um and then obviously the name Psycho Circus sounds way awesome. You're like, oh man, and then it's like, does this belong to somebody? It sounds good in my head. It's either Psycho Drill or Psycho Circus. I think it's I'm gonna call it Psycho Circus. One of her moves, um, that she does, setting up for the game. Where could you have gone? You were probably just gone for it probably is in the folder. Let's try. Okay, and here's some earlier designs of her. This was what I was trying some earlier design making of, yeah, like yeah, that would be cool to have. Um, she always was sporting a black dress of some sort. Oh, and yeah, okay. Here's the like I was saying earlier. Here's the original Lady Omana designs that I was trying to create the with her brown and purple, where she moved from like as you can see the color here, um, overlapping and trying to get neat design for her. Um, and then this is one of my favorite ones when I work out. Her design always glory. Maybe I'm getting. No, I can. I taste it. Anyway, and she has not gonna like. I don't know if she has a sister anymore, but I had a design for what her sister would look like. Where there were more of the drills, stuff like that. Obviously, does not look good. Try my best. Um, so I know I'm probably getting closer to it. Vert too. So oh, I should use this again. I gotta use this for something. Um, So maybe there too. I was just playing around with animation on it. Just like I was pretending I I cosplayed myself. There's a we were doing a thing where it's like make yourself look like your OC, and what happens is that oh actually this one's better. So I was trying to make myself look like my OC. So I was like, all right, so obviously I want to look cool, so I want to make myself look like my OC. So I did. Here's the results. Here's what I did, and here's my OC. We were doing this challenge. It's like, what am I going to choose my black character? Well, guys, that's too easy. I wanted a challenge, so I did this uncanny thing, and I made myself white or Asian. I can't didn't make myself yellow, but I took a picture, then I colored, then I Michael Jackson myself to looking like that with some Photoshop and so I made myself look like that. Um, it's somewhere like I know I could feel it because it wasn't too far along. 2020, maybe it was 2020. I worked on it. 2020 was some other cool character, but yeah, he won't be making. Masada will not be making into the game. Maybe I don't want to throw too many of my characters in my game, and stuff like that. I'm too happy with that. Masada won't be making into the of all people, but it's good to look into. Uh, where could she be? I work extensively hard on that, and it's a maybe they make the transfer. So we'll look up properly. So made sure, and if it's not there, it's not in the. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Um, may not be is in there. Oh, here it is. Well, not the thing. No, it's not in my cool things I'm working. Maybe it might be like it might be a Photoshop image that didn't really get turned into a Photoshop thing. I might have to. But it's a TIFF. It's usually a TIFF file, and I work in TIFF even though they're huge. But I just because I can actually see the file, um, then it being turned into a PSD, and it's like I don't know what file this is. You can't tell what it is. There's one more place I can actually look at this. May not even exist. I didn't delete. I bet after the stream I'll be like, oh, there you are. Where were you hiding? It was already here. Oh well, it was a. I wanted to turn into a card. I wanted. I finished it. I didn't do anything with it. but she had these purple drills, and she was like breaking through the water, and it was basically like okay, this is what I'm going to do for thing. Unless it's underneath something else. Most likely underneath another file, another if file, and it's like I could have finished it. So there's one more trick I'm gonna try. Oh yeah, I'm in the right one. Oh, I'm in the wrong. So here. So I never played around with my. Okay, here we go. At least I would know. Well, I don't think I'll find any good drawing. It's really good. I tell you, it's really good. I'm telling you. You never know. It's really good. You might get that FOMO. You're missing out. So you don't want to just leave and just like be like, oh, there's nothing. Oh, here it is. Oh, everyone's gone. All right. Well, no, I just back and then I'll put this back into disappointment for not being able to find what I want. All right. Um, that's character. That's my a fight I was animating. That's the game. That is the girl. Um, so so the last place I actually left off was using. Oh, actually, let me use one. I'll be right back. Okay, now I can stop. I can think about it is that I was always able to run a solo podcast. So after social reading, after I know that if if the two other guys don't appear during social reading, I can run a show by myself. So it's practice. I learned how to run a solo podcast show. They would call it the Kuro show. I don't think they really understood the idea of keeping the so oh these guys are sweet, right? Whew. You gotta keep the show going. So I learned. Never was able to find. I need to bed first. I'm getting fat. I'm getting fat. Weigh 147 pounds. 100, yeah, for a body mass. Oh, how much muscle? I pray it's muscle. It's muscle. What was muscle? Obviously, it's not body fat. But hey, try to do jump around, jump up and jump down. Yep, jump, jump. But it's tons of cashews. Like, oh, am I on the air? Sure. So, where I last left off, I will probably voice this. Now, oh no. Oh yeah, also, I like what he did. So in this chapter, he's not going to be an almanac. But in this chapter, I give him, well, actually, no, I gave him hair a long time ago. So, for one, number one, um, I didn't give him hair because I was like, that was a mistake. I was young. I was like, oh, he's in his 60s. I have hair in his 60s. So you should have, and I think by, er, oh, I'm at the bottom. I was like, well, I can't go anywhere. Go anywhere. Woo! Ah, wherever- I had to bring it to me closer to me. What chapter is it? Can't go anywhere than this. Wow, wow. Oh, wait. Why is that here? after they come further away from it, Operation 10. Okay, yeah. So now he grew a full set of hair and a bare mustache. But see at the side of his hair, bit. I have hair here. So have some hair. So at this time of creating the comic, I was like, no one reads this. Barely anyone reads it. So I can get away with anything. I was trying to push the envelope a little bit. But I was like, you can do whatever you want. No one's like, man, no one's talking about it. So I was like going to do controversial thing. Well, not all of it. Some things were just like I made some mistakes. And every minute I make mistakes right now. No, like that mistake. I just lost my nut. Hey, everyone, I want you to stop looking. Stop whatever you're doing. Skip this part. Stop watching. Don't look at the background. You look at me. Okay. When I tell you to look, you can look back. All right. You may look back now. Thank you. Thank you for cooperating. You may now look. Okay. So, all right. Um, it's supposed to be more jolly and stuff like that. But oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're supposed to be jolly. How hard are they even making this book? Same thing. Oh yeah. The book here, if you see on the cover, oh that's sort of blue and anyways, I'm just looking at the. I'm just trying. It's like use your secret. Hey kids, use your secret decoder on your green screen to find out the secret word that's hidden behind Kuro. Like, and then you gotta write in and then say like up here and will you like your book of black suit. Oh yeah, because I was like I matched it up like this. And I was like, where happened to? Why is one of the books that I have a black? I was pretty. So this one is too thin to have a spine section of personal. Yeah, I just realized my voice was probably not being caught. That's me hitting my pad. Oh no, everything's being exposed. That yeah. So like I said, original manga, Black Suit Men. I started calling them handbooks because volumes didn't make sense. I was just trying to copy and be like everyone else. And I was like, oh, this is what you need to call it, volumes. Um, you're selling your books and it should be called volumes and stuff like that. But then I realized that people asked me like, hey, how far are you going to take this? And I was like, I was going to take it the whole way. But nothing came out of it, of course. Like no money, like money was barely a thing. Like it's profitable, but it's not a business thing that you can just sit on and say, I'm going to make web comics all my life, and I can just yeah, like yeah, exactly. Confish even explained. Keon Confish explained. You you have to have some kind of back revenue, like some sources on the back to even make the to support this. This is obviously a side gig. That I was trying to make a full gig. Even this streaming side gig. Because what happens is I'm just trying to promote my game, which I feel that will fish faster than this because what happens is I'm not gonna. It's not gonna be big. It's gonna be layers of development and spend 10 years trying to work on this. You learn some discipline. Like yes, but I did go to church, um, so that wouldn't be. I did touch grass. I did go outside. I have other jobs I have to do, even when I didn't want to go out and do them. So it wasn't like, okay, well, everything's gone. Well, I don't usually go to parties. It was just easier to sit around uh, and fantasize what could be the future, and use that kind of idea and to um, see how well it works in the real life of running a company, but being very nice to people. So, oh yeah, Kina Kutaragi. Their first appearance. Let me back up a little bit. Yeah, so let me back in there. So people were like, "Man, you have so much cake." Grass. People were like, "You have so much cake in there." I'm like, "Yes, pounds and pounds of cake." Um, Hero mom doesn't really exist. Didn't really make him a mom. I'm still couldn't figure out what kind of mom he needs. But over here is like this is where a point of the story where if I continue going on, it will be part of it. So you got these three guys. I was like, I thought I came with this idea. Excuse me first because look at it. It's like on your windshield, it shows which way you're going. I was like, okay, that'd be cool. So cars in the future, you'll have this on the windshield. It'll tell you if you're going left or right and stuff. Cars are not gonna look bad like this. You're gonna get some good looking cars, not my car. Plus, I couldn't really draw. I did my best. It's just something about curving them into the perspective that threw everything off. Like buildings, they're so blocky and stuff like that. It's easy to do that, but things that are smooth, trying to curve them in my mind was like pretty hard. But you sure will be in the Joker, no, and Ada. It was me. I think I like this one. So they get home. They get to Yashiro's apartment. Um, SN City. Okay, she's from SN City. What is SN? Seattle? I think yeah, I think it's Space Needle. Yeah, Seattle. Uh, in America. I was born in America, and hello, and then died, and and then the Phantoms are mind readers, so we just kind of just drop off of there. Uh, not all the time we'll be part of a team, the same team. Based on our abilities, they might mix us with other units or members. So we're sitting around in his thing with the Sky Tree, Southern Tokyo. So, but I think this place is called Sky Tree City. I didn't want to go real names. It's like yeah, whatever I want. So I had to think of a new clothes for him. Real like I got like people can't wear suits all the time, but then I had tons of suits. I think because it was in like I saw Ichigo can like not suits, shirt, clothing because Ichigo had like several different outfits. Now I look back at Sailor Moon. Uh, I'm watching the Death Busters um saga still, and I'm like, oh wow, they changed their clothes, and it's just that some kid animes just don't change their clothes, but Bleach and Sailor Moon are changing clothes, and you think anime they don't make the clothes that they don't make anything else, but they do. It's just that you don't pay attention too well to them, and look back and you're like, oh, they do. So Yoshiro's clothing was like hard to. Well, it wasn't hard, but I could only come up with one. So these I kind of try to add try to combine some kind of like collared pop shirt, dress shirt with sides on there, and some Japanese clothing with the vents where it's cut like Inuyasha has that kind of thing where the shoulder is cut in V, and it's like almost like a detached sleeve kind of. And I had a shirt that had some buttons where the sleeves rolls back up into the thing. So that's why I did all that stuff. My mom being a seamstress makes it a little bit easier because I can just go downstairs and grab like the patterns like butterwick or bura, Buddha, Buddha or balls and kind of like mix match and stuff like that. But that's most tricks. So I got these guys here, and then they're gonna play a part of it. It was me, Joker, and Kane. They were professionals. I just came from guard duty. I had followed a fan into where I get that car. I think it's like someone's car. I know it was so. I started just photoshopping cars because like I had cars. I could just like I could just do this. So I started taking pictures of cars, started photoshopping them just because I was like, I say myself. Some. It's all about the characters. It's really the background doesn't even really need to. Google Maps. So here they are. This serious box, and then turned away to the car and heard a lot of audible screams. I rushed back into the case. It was covered in blood, and the limbs were scattered. But yo, do you know who have done this? I think I think it was the case. No, it definitely was. Might have been a psalm. Psalm is a sin of man. Because I'm trying to put some like kind of add some uh religion. I gotta get my hands. I add some religious context into there and try to add some religious context in there. Try to add some um, biological things. So you got this sin of man. They're as I showed you before, they're like experimented people. So he thinks it's probably well, most of these characters are psalms because even in the beginning of the thing where um Sam was going to get killed because he was probably because they thought he was like going to turn it. He's going to turn. So that sounds illogical. That's consume people. Mimic. Yes, I took it to the director, and that's the problem. Ever since I left to America, I've been able to access those documents, as I showed before. I believe that the director has associates have hidden agenda. That's why Operation Minus Black to say, hey, before Black suit men, it was suit men minus Black. Take away Black is just um. Captain Shira, is that all about minus Black? I mean, I would like to know Estation. I don't want to share any more. And so he falls back and his mom. And then Kino's first appearance of her leather pants. Um, and trying to, and she wears a lot of thrills. Now starts trying to do something cool, like people walking around. Director here had to stretch that car. um, in a black dress. People around, and that's where he is, and that's where he gets this new full of hair. And then he's like, "I am your father." It's like his dad. Oh wow! It's like who's working for? It's like okay, now we're on the plot is coming out. Gosh, like I can't even say the word like unraveling the plot. A lot of cool stuff. Um, and this did make it into the comic. Um, then and Ashton go on their own quest. And he sees this guy here, probably one of my favorite designs. He doesn't. If I do go further, he will come back. Some guy said that he really liked. Some guy was like, yeah, they really liked this guy. I don't know if it's his design or anything like that, but I was like, oh, I could bring him back because he doesn't. Nothing really happens to him. he just kind of just disappears by the end of the plot. Gets beat up. You know, he works with the blacksmith. He worked with the blacksmith. He he got away, or he doesn't work with them anymore. That's why his suit's kind of like striped with like these danger marks. Um, and it gets turned into that. Oh wait, that's the end of it. Oh no, because I started to split them up into chapters. Um, that's the thing about it. I started to split these things into chapters because I was told, yeah, no, split them into chapters and they'll be much more easier. I like that. I like what I did here. My main character gets beat up a lot, and the other two are just like have their own issues. But this one gets beat up a lot. Not to show any favoritism, to be like, okay, listen, things happen. Like why? Like I guess because being around a bunch of kids, like they don't want their characters to get hurt. But he's not a punching bag. OC. What happens is that it's like you gotta start from somewhere to work your way out. Gets his guns back, and then there's like the secret meeting. Phantom, him, and the new Phantom that we're going to be dealing with. I had some contest that I was like, that's cool. And I got to show off this art by a self entitled prick because before the first fallout on Amino, where everyone left because they're like, oh no, we don't like how Kuro's doing in this place. Um, there's this cool guy. Uh, he made some really good artwork. So I wanted to throw it in here because even though I haven't talked to him in a long time, he still made some really good artwork of a sniper in her grip suit, and I'm just like, yeah, and that's actually an Omanac card also. So it's um not that. That's the back of the card. These are the object cards. Like if you put these cards like def, like um, you put Omana in the right order. Uh, and like it's supposed to be like Yu-Gi-Oh's def, or final. If you put them in the right order, then what happens is like you instantly win the game. So, oh, I won't pop up. Then you got field cards, zero, but he's in here, but not in the 40 card deck starter deck. Probably in other ones. We will get back to but we need to go through history. So I kind of slowly started to add cards. It just got slower and slower because jumping between buying, signing, and thinking of the characters kind of just slows you down. Um, so things just had to. It's like only if I really need stuff. I have like several cards waiting to just come back, like several things to come back in cards. Um, I have a backlog, and if I need them like for the game, now I will turn them into cards. Instead of whereas it's like, oh, I have card turn it into thing. Like you start kind of running out of designs, and you're like, like, oh no, I started running out of ideas for new things. So that's why you can see that the it's starting to slow down. From this is the latest of Inorami. Ain't Inorami. I talked about this character before. Um, and actually, I let me actually go find. I said to show off his stuff, her stuff. Yeah, I don't know who they are. I don't know if it's where's that place that's yeah. Oh wait, right here. I'll just go to enemy. Let's go to their enemy profile. They're doing commissions, so um, so let me put that there. So this is where I got. This is where I got my that one. Uh, I colored it and I made it look better because like a lot of times you like actually let me do I want to go to my okay here's my profile the things that oh yeah make sure um put that right there. That all right. Another thing I want, yeah. So they created the artwork. I just like I needed robots, and so I asked, them, like, "You got any OCs that you're not using? Hey, can I use them?" And so like, and I said, and I can buy them off you. I think I bought them off. Most of the OCs I do buy, so I can like so they could be at mines because like if you I don't do the borrow OCs anymore because there's many things because well a contract the contracts I got people to sign. No, since I'm no longer a leader of Omana, what happens is those contracts obviously are defunct. So what happens is that I can't use them. Never do I post their characters. But on the whole of them, like there's I think some of them are not on this amino anyway. So but they have like links, which is never Gen Notosuki's design. I asked for like a phone with Beast and Beast in the machine put together, and they gave me a phone with like ears. Also in the game, Links is the card, but in the game it's called malware. Meowware. Um, and like the newer card's gonna look like this. They'll look just kind of like to change things up instead of just saying characters, enabler, and entity because changing them from character to entity is because I'm moving into a new direction with the game. So it just moved. So everything had to be rehauled just by a bit. Um, the Beast Machine Hybrid smart device, not the first smart device, but you have an idea what it is. Defense skills are now new to the game, not new to RPG version. Um, might I don't know. I'm still working on that, and I'm working on, but that might just come from positions. Attack, cross linking, so you can use this to cross link because I have one more coming up of his or her designs in the pipeline. But level 14, as you can see, I changed the whole thing because as I'm now moving away from amino, since they're like, oh well, since they didn't say that they wanted, and neither did I heard any like word about like what to really do with the almanac or that community. Like almanac's still being posted. That's why we're kind of like moving everything. I'm kind of working in amino and posting things and just kind of working things outside. So it's like test ground here. These are ready. Make my almanac game here, and then test it out in the world and stuff like that. So it's just a testing ground now for what what to see and engage the people and see what they're liking. But that's like a small part of the big world because there's if you can raise its value, like I said, if you can raise its value and show people like, oh, this thing's really important, or you can really play the game, or if you can give it some, if you can give it value that people want it, then what happens is that um, monetarily, I don't really know how much I would say that I would probably okay monetarily. I think what I how much I actually put into this game through amino coins. An estimate was last time I counted was $840, and I think that's how much I really put in. Yeah, I think I put $840 worth in amino coins into the game. Right now, it's probably about I don't know 1,000. It's going to be in the thousand. So $1,000 went into the game development using amino coins per se. Didn't use any of my real money because what happens is I don't have that much and they're really you want really good characters you got to dish them out for real money and stuff like that at least like $25 to $15 and stuff like that and I money doesn't grow on trees so if money when money comes in then money can come out but the problem is that there's nothing coming so barely is coming in and so I can't send out so you gotta have good finance. We have to do something good with the financing. So as soon as the game or the Ko-fi, I have a Ko-fi, a Patreon, and all this other stuff. Um, as soon as like the Ko-fi Patreon started getting money, Let me just see for a second. As soon as you start getting all that stuff, then you can get better cards, but nothing's coming in.